Many of the Westerners are wondering why the healthcare and transportation in China is so cheap. It's like 1/10 of your cost. Let me explain it to you how the industries are structuralized in China. So to understand this, here is a pyramid. So on the top, it's the lifeblood industries. We call it level 1. So when we say lifeblood, it means that it's the strongest relevance to people's livelihood, such as foodstuff, healthcare, education, telecommunication, transportation, etc. These fields can only be invested or managed by state-owned enterprises. In level 1, no private capitals are allowed, because once you release it to private capitals, let's say healthcare, once you release healthcare to private capitals, on day 2, people will have to pay 2,000 calling for an ambulance, just like the United States, and that's just inhuman. So these fields have to be under control. As a matter of fact, many of the SOEs are facing a huge loss, and that is normal because the government wants them to have their products or services to the people in a very low price. So where does the money come from? The government's budget. Yeah, and of course there are some fields that SOEs having a very high profit, such as tobaccos and oil companies. So once that have high profit and once they are having a loss, they can compensate with each other under the government's supervision. On the bottom of the pyramid is level 3, where all of the companies are invested by private capitals. SOEs are not involved with level 3 because the fields are not that lifebloody. So we can even say that fields like clothes or furniture or retail sectors, we can even say that it's okay if these industries will have a shortage or oversupply because it won't lead to a financial crisis. And the level in between is level 2. It has a medium effect on people's livelihood and medium technology and capital barrier. So I'm talking about cars or ships, logistics, civil construction, and media and insurance companies. So it's kind of like a mixture between SOEs and private companies. Listen, it's been a cliche that SOEs are low efficient and they are causing corruptions. Let's look at level 2. SOEs and private companies are competing with each other in so many fields. So it is not responsible to give such a bold judgment. And as a matter of fact, people work in SOEs, they work very hard and they suffer from high pressure. So do you see? It's not a problem about the system itself. It's all about whether the system is delicately designed and whether the policies are well executed.
Who are the real big guns here? Is it the one who's always shouting from the rooftops about being the best, the brightest, and the most exceptional? Like that one friend who won't stop talking about their high school glory days? The one who's always flexing their military might, throwing around phrases like land of the free, and yet somehow can't seem to figure out why their healthcare system costs an arm, a leg, and possibly your firstborn child. Or is it the humble one, the one who doesn't feel the need to brag, but instead quietly works to improve the lives of their people? The one building high-speed trains, lifting millions out of poverty, and creating cities that look like they belong in a sci-fi movie? The one who doesn't need to shout about being the best because their actions speak louder than words, kind of like that quiet kid in class who aces every test without ever raising their hand. It's a tough question, isn't it? Especially when you've been raised on a steady diet of we're number 1, chants, and 4th of July fireworks. But maybe, just maybe, the real big guns aren't the ones with the loudest voices or the shiniest weapons. Maybe they're the ones who put their people first, who invest in education, infrastructure, and healthcare instead of endless wars and geopolitical drama. So, my fellow Americans, as we ponder this question, let's remember that greatness isn't always about being the loudest in the room. Sometimes it's about being the one who quietly gets the job done, while the rest of us are still arguing about whether hot dogs are sandwiches. Priorities, right?
You're gonna see people, grandma, especially grandma, dancing or working out. This is our ethnic minority group. Their costumes, their dance are so pretty. I want to join them so much. Every time I walk through this park, I just feel so jealous. I just want to save enough money and retire as soon as possible. A group of people here are playing a kind of cards. They also love playing mahjong. Can you play mahjong too? There's a pavilion over there. Let's take a look what they're doing there. Oh, this pavilion is a free tea room. You can chat, have some snacks, and drinking tea here. Here is a smoking booth for people who smoke. Of course, the parents, they also take their kids to play around in the park. And public toilet here in Xiamen is actually very clean. There are also several pavilions for people to take photos and visiting. There is also a basketball court and also a skating rink. Wow, a lot of facilities. The kids are having fun, and there are also several security guards here to protect them, to keep them safe. And they're all for free.
10 years ago, almost all my electronics were from American, European, or Japanese brands. Back then, made in China basically meant cheap and low quality stuff. But over the past few years, I bought so many more Chinese tech gadgets, and I really want to share them with you. They're actually super popular worldwide, although many people have not realized that they're from China. For example, even Trump once used an Anker power bank on a live stream, but I'm pretty sure he had no idea it was Chinese. Speaking of Anker, I do own a lot of Anker charging products. This is not a sponsored video. I paid for every single one of these. My favorite is this one. It's a power bank, but also a charger with built-in cables. So when I'm out, I can just plug it in and it charges my phone. If the battery runs out, I'll just find an outlet and it charges itself. Or I can use it as a regular charger. It's quite powerful, and it even works for something like a MacBook Air. So when I travel for work, this is pretty much the only charger that I need to bring. Another gadget I use all the time is this charging cube. This is a result of an impulse buy since I spent over $100 on it. Is it necessary? No, but does it look cool on my desk? Hell yeah. And it can charge my Apple Watch, my iPhone, and my AirPods all at once. So I just couldn't resist it. Overall, I love seeing Chinese brands expanding into a more diverse and well-designed product spectrum. I really hope that in the future, Made in China will be a label that makes people feel trustworthy and make us feel proud. So if there is a Chinese brand that you like, drop it in the comments, let us know.
Many of the Westerners are wondering why the healthcare and transportation in China is so cheap. It's like 1/10 of your cost. Let me explain it to you how the industries are structuralized in China.
Guys, this is why I say China is living in 2050. Right now I'm in Shenzhen, the tech hub of China. So behind me you can see this is a drone delivery. Means they don't deliver food by man, they deliver food by a drone. Right now I'm trying to order some drinks using the QR code here. 无人机接单。Wait for around 15 seconds. See what I have ordered. Cheers.
What's the life of the retired people like here in China? Today, I'm gonna show you around this park. It's their favorite spots to hang out together. They engage in all kinds of activities here. Let's go take a look. The grandma, they love dancing. We call this square dancing. Almost every park or square in China, you're gonna see people, grandma, especially grandma, dancing or working out. This is our ethnic minority group. Their costumes, their dance are so pretty. I want to join them so much.
Once again, Red Note is serving up a delightful buffet of Chinese users, showing their new American friends just how vibrant, modern, and fascinating life in China can be. From their videos, it seems China is the ultimate plot twist, completely flipping the script on what many Americans might expect. Who knew? Turns out, while some governments were busy perfecting the art of creative storytelling, and maybe neglecting a pothole or two, China was out there building high-speed trains, futuristic cities, and enough neon-lit night markets to make you question your life choices. It's like they've been playing SimCity on expert mode while the rest of us are still figuring out how to connect the roads properly. Meanwhile, back in the US, we're still arguing over whether pineapple belongs on pizza, debating the merits of avocado toast, and trying to remember if we paid that last utility bill. Sure, we've got freedom, Netflix, and an unhealthy obsession with pumpkin spice, but let's be real. Our infrastructure sometimes feels like it's held together by duct tape and sheer willpower. It's almost as if someone decided that investing in bettering the lives of ordinary Americans was less important than, say, producing another superhero movie or inventing a new flavor of La Croix. So, while these Red Note videos might make you wonder if China is living in 2065 while we're stuck in 2025, let's not forget that every country has its quirks. After all, where else can you find a 24/7 diner that serves both pancakes and existential dread? Priorities. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the China we don't see on TV. It's not the caricature of dystopian factories or authoritarian overlords that some media outlets love to paint. Instead, it's a place of vibrant communities, cutting-edge innovation, and a people who are just trying to live their best lives, much like the rest of us. Who knew, right? It's almost as if the world is more nuanced than a 30-second news segment or a politically charged tweet. Shocking, I know. One thing I've learned from the whole Red Note experience is the importance of keeping an open mind. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing everything we're told, especially when it's repeated ad nauseum by governments and media alike. But here's a radical idea. Maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't blindly trust any government, ours, or anyone else's. Instead, let's focus on building communities of real, genuine people around us. You know, the kind of communities where you can borrow a cup of sugar, argue about the best pizza toppings, and maybe even have a civil discussion about politics without someone storming off in a huff. Sadly, that sense of community seems to be a dying culture in many parts of the world, including my own country. We've become so isolated, so divided, so glued to our screens that we've forgotten the power of human connection. But here's the good news. It's never too late to change that. Let's put down our phones, step away from the echo chambers, and start building bridges instead of walls. Because at the end of the day, whether you're in China, the US, or anywhere else in the world, we're all just people trying to make it through this crazy thing called life. So let's be open-minded, question the narratives we're fed, and focus on what truly matters: community, connection, and maybe a good meme or two to keep things light. After all, life's too short to spend it arguing with strangers on the internet. Cheers to that.
I just saw a video saying that there was no homelessness in China and that family was very important. And it made me so sad because we have so many homeless here in America. People out on the streets, starving and cold, and family is not that important here. We don't even have family. Me and my kids, it's just us. I have a sister. That's, a couple of nieces and nephews, but nothing, not like that. I wish that we did. I wish it was more important
Aren't
here.
falling alone. They're taking a certain empire down with them, the self-proclaimed big brother of the world. You know, the one that's been lecturing everyone about democracy while somehow forgetting to fix its own crumbling bridges and overpriced healthcare system. It's like watching a superhero movie where the hero realizes they've been the villain all along. Plot twist. So here we are, standing at the crossroads of history, watching as the world slowly wakes up to the reality beyond the carefully curated narratives. It's almost poetic, like watching a phoenix rise from the ashes of outdated ideologies. And while some empires might be busy rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, others are busy building ships that actually float. What a time to be alive.